Hey, here's something we can fix.
Hey, what are you doing with furniture? We're not doing a furniture show today.
Why? Oh, we're doing the other show?
The other show.
With the kitchens
and the decks and
the
the
bathrooms. Oh, that show.
That show.
Men in Toolbelts, next on
Hands on.
TLC.
Do you feel as if the walls are not closing in on you? Well, we're going to change that today by building a partition wall topped with beautiful designer glass. I can't wait. Hey! We're in a house.
He is Ed Feldman, and I'm Joe Lorario, and we are in a house.
And it used to be a house you owned, but you still own it, actually.
Well, I still own it. I used to live here, and it's a big open space here. Well, with all this stuff in here, it's not that big, but there was a living room, dining room, one big open space. We're going to divide it.
Look, let's face it, what kind of renovations do people do? They knock down walls to make one big room out of a bunch of little ones.
Or they build new walls.
To make a bunch of little rooms out of one big room. We're splitting the difference.
And we're going to call this, let me get this right,
Yes.
a non-delineated space?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that like monochromatic? It's monochromatic in here.
That means there's one color.
It's all white.
We're going to build a half wall here, a stud wall that's going to be drywall just like the walls, and then above it,
A fabulous decorative glass called Ultra Glass. It's going to let light through. It's not going to block light out, so the light will still come through the glass, light this room up, and light this room.
so we're going to still have one big room, but there's going to be a partition here, a partial partition.
Ultra glass is often used as a partition wall in offices and restaurants, but it can also be used for kitchen cabinets, backsplashes, bathroom vanities, and even doors. Whew. Later in the show, we're going to be meeting a representative from Ultra Glass to talk about options. He looks just like Mr. Orson Welles. Okay, we're going to start by building a stud wall.
Well, the total height of stud wall and glass is going to be 96¼ inches.
The glass is 52¼
And the wall is 44 inches.
So we got to find a center stud.
But before that, we have drawn some lines and told a little story. The framing height of the stud wall itself is at that line. But there's going to be a decorative cap over top of it.
And it's good to go out, especially on a Sunday, with a decorative cap.
We do it on Saturdays. The finished height, no H, no height. So this is going to be the height with the cap, and the glass is going to begin here.
Right.
So the first thing we do, since we got to tie in a perpendicular wall to this wall, is to find
the
stud.
studs. And our studs that we're going to make are going to be 2x6s.
Right.
Well, let's go down here now.
This is stud finder.
See here?
Takes a battery, you press the button.
Push the button there, and we're going to run it flat against the wall.
Look for the light to come on. Usually there's a little sound with it. It goes something like, ahooga, ahooga.
Do you want to put a tick there?
Sure, why not? That's one end of the stud.
And now we keep moving.
And when the light goes out, you know the stud has ended.
There it is. The stud has ended. Well, there's something there.
Another way to find the stud is to poke something like an awl, as in U-awl.
Look, a coat hanger.
Into the wall. Now, you wouldn't want to do this if you weren't going to mess the wall up anyway, but since we're going to be putting another wall out, we can screw that wall up as much as we feel like it.
Look. There's the stud.
Once you've found the stud, you have to trace a plumb line along the center of the stud down to the molding. The molding will have to be cut so the wall plate will fit snugly against the existing wall. This center line we will measure 3¼ inches in each direction. When that section of molding is removed, we'll then be able to fit a 2x6 wall plate with a ½ inch drywall on either side of it.
So now we need to cut the molding. Got to go through this clamshell and through this shoe molding. So I'm just going to made a line on there where we want to come down. Use the utility knife and get through the sheetrock. Oh, it's doing a little meditating. Now, just want to take this down.
That's a reciprocating saw, isn't it? It's good for demolition work.
Well, it's variable speed, so I can go slow, or I can go. And we don't want to use it like that on this particular thing, because we're going to hit the stud down here, the base plate, and we don't want to.
So you want to go slowly.
There we go. Look.
Perfect.
Little tiny piece. You know what I need?
That.
There you go.
Right. What we used to call that reciprocating saw is the butcher's tool. because there ain't nothing fine about it. It's for tearing and ripping stuff out. Don't ever try and make anything precise with that thing. Oh, look, the drywall went all the way down. Who'd have thought?
Now we can put in the plate.
For the stud wall, we're going to use 2x6s, number 2 pine. We'll have 4 studs spaced at 16 inches apart, plus a wall plate and an end plate, making the total length 73 inches. The wall height is 44 inches. Now, if we subtract the 3/4 inch cap piece, the 1.5 inch top plate, and the 1.5 inch bottom plate, then our vertical studs will be cut to 40 1/4 inches. Now, keep in mind that the measurements at your house, of course, are going to be different. And we're putting the plate to the wall, attaching the plate to the wall.
Don't forget, when you're doing a plate to a stud, you're screwing right in the middle. Why? Because if you screwed here, it just hit the drywall.
Smoothing the finish, appraising the finish. Then.
All right, let's put the bottom plate in place. Now, how do you measure, or rather,
This is right, just like this, right?
plumb or level the bottom plate? Well, there's a lot of things you can do. You can use a square and use the wall as your baseline, but walls like this,
You know the
they're
wall's
out of
out.
square.
So you're out of line.
Right, we're just
You're out of line.
We're just going to line it up with the lines on the original oaken floors.
Apply a generous amount of construction adhesive to the bottom plate, then pre-drill before screwing it to the floor.
We're pre-drilling so that the wood doesn't pull away from us when we put the screw in. It doesn't become misaligned.
Continue building that wall by adding the end plate and top plate, then fill in the studs at 16-inch intervals. Make sure the wall is level and plumb with every new piece added.
Yeah. Right, Conan, we're the guys that do all the work.
There you go.
No, it's nobody else.
Put there, Jim.
Right, Kathy Griffin called us the guys from Jersey. You said you liked us. Conan, please. We do all the work ourselves. He hung up again.
There we go.
All right, the stud wall is finished, but that's only part of a wall.
We got to still
because-
put the glass in. The glass is 72 inches long here, and the drywall 73 inches
What is
wide.
this? Now, this is a full sheet of drywall. We could have cut it off and done a lot of measurements and made it perfect to shape for the stud wall, cut it off on the floor.
But why do that? It's such a small wall. All we're going to do is attach it right here to the studs, and then we'll trim it.
The 3 steps to cutting drywall. First, the score. Second, the snap. And
Satisfying as it is.
the snap.
See, now we'll just go up the inside here.
Third, the cutting of the paper.
What? What?
Next, corner bead.
And spackle.
The partition wall, symbolizing, nay, creating, the separation of living space, topped by sinuous, shimmering glass, symbolizing the unification of space through light, symbolizing who wrote this anyway?
And now, back to our partition wall.
See this corner bead? Number one, it's going to hide this ratty edge, the 2 pieces of drywall that we stuck together, and we're going to put it up to about this mark here, which is going to compensate for the quarter round that's going to go underneath the top shelf. And just using these galvanized nails, bang it right in. Where's that hammer? Here it is.
Now, why do you use nails instead of screws? Well, because you really can't countersink screws into a piece of aluminum like that. So screws are going to stick up more than those flathead nails. Now, meanwhile, I'm going to be covering in over the countersunk screws with the quick drying spackle. Got to put spackle on the over the corner bead too to make it nice and smooth and everything.
Now the high points on the corner beads create a small valley between them. So to create a smooth surface along the height of the wall, run a 6-inch spackle knife loaded with joint compound down the wall. Use the corner bead as your guide.
Yeah, there
Hey,
you go.
how you doing?
The spackle seems to be drying, or pretending it is. There's
So
spackle on the camera lens. You know?
I know.
Right
Should
around
put something on there. It'd be a nice effect like Winter World. We have a 1x10 cap, and we ripped it to an 8 and an 1/8. See that? And we cut it to 74 1/8, right?
So you have a little lip over the edge of the wall. Okay.
Now we're going to chamfer the edge.
That's where we load it into a closet with mothballs.
That's camphor. Chamfer. See the edge here? There's the bit. It's a little conical bit there, kind of, which will give an angle cut.
A conical O'Brien bit?
It'll give a little angle to the side of the top cap piece. Make sure your router is away from the edge of the board before you turn it on, otherwise you're going to get a big jerk.
Well, that's me.
So start it, then move it in. Just straight down. Perfect. See these hairy stuff? This is from the ripping on the saw, and we want to get rid of that. So just piece of 220 paper, and you just sand it, rip that edge down.
But don't sand it so much that it takes the chamfer away.
Nah.
Never do that.
When the cap is sanded, it can be primed with an oil-based primer, which will take 1 or 2 hours to dry. Use construction adhesive and 6-penny finish nails to secure the cap to the wall.
And the next thing
We want to measure underneath
you
here.
have to measure underneath, and you get the same amount of lip.
What do you got there?
Almost 3/4.
And this would be just about right, 3/4.
Doesn't matter what the numbers are as long as it's equal on both sides.
There, what do you got here?
That's it.
Perfect.
You got it. All right, now pre-drill for the finish nails.
Now you got the head sticking up, so you want to countersink, and you use the countersink
Nail
to do
set.
that. Or a nail set. Put it right there. Push it down in there.
Use wood putty to fill any divots left from the finish nails. When that dries, then it's time to sand everything down, including the wood putty and the first coat of spackle.
Hey, what?
Man of war.
Where's my sandpaper?
It dropped it. We're sanding, and we've got a spackle again.
We gotta repaint the top because this putty is brown.
So we got to sand everything here that we've puttied and spackled, including the drywall.
And we are, right, that's drywall. Who wants to see us spackle the drywall again? No! All right, watch this then.
There you go.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. This used to be Billy Preston's comb.
I had the scribe somewhere. Where was
But this is a scribe.
Oh, there it is.
See?
It's not a Sadducee.
You could make a nice living for yourself on the boardwalk doing silhouettes with this. But what it's really for,
It's for coping. When you can't cope, or when you have to cope.
what you're supposed to do is push that against
Like a
something
molding
that's,
right here.
that's shaped strangely that you need to copy.
See this? Watch. And I guide this in.
See, it's very hard to trace that, even if you have a tracing pencil or a cloth.
So it gets the exact profile of the shoe molding and the clamshell molding. Here's a positive, and over here is what we want, the negative. We're going to lay it on here, the end of the molding, and then you would just
We always like to make a nice negative out of a positive.
take a punzel, okay? And then we'll trace it.
And then all you need is a jigsaw. Hey,
then-
got nice and quiet. in
Then you
here.
would cut this out with a jigsaw. So you cut this out, and then you do any kind of finish sanding you have to for the edge here. And then you would miter the other end. And then afterwards, you bring it in and you fit it, and look, ta-da!
We attach the molding with finish nails. Always remember to pre-drill. If you don't pre-drill, the wood's going to split. And with the wall now completely built, we applied an oil-based primer and then painted the wall white. When we get back, we will install the glass part of our partition wall. Yippee.
The glass. Ah, the glass. Like a gift from the gods. All will be revealed through its myriad facets. if these two Yutz balls don't screw it up.
Back to our glass top partition wall.
This is really the Ultra Glass.
Oh.
You think Ultraman's in here? Wait a minute. Hey,
Well, just one more. Okay, I think we're ready.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Would you morons please stop fooling around? We got work to do. We've never seen this happen before.
Look at these skin tags.
Wait a minute. What is this?
It's all biodegradable.
Look, it's dandruff.
Hey, well, this is Bill Headley, and he's from Ultra Glass, and he's also from our past.
Yes, he is. We used to work together a long time ago.
Well, now
20 years ago.
you're now a wealthy country burger, aren't you? That's with an H in it.
Something like that. And you're still you.
So why Ultra Glass?
Yeah, why? Why,
This is-
what, and where? What
this
is
is-
Ultra
I
Glass?
fell in love with it.
Yeah?
Saw it at a show in Manhattan and said, I got to do this. So after all those years of wood, I
Yeah.
became Mr. Glass.
Yeah, you've always had the transparency too, you Bill. But what makes it so different? Look, it's all reticulated like
if
a
I can
python.
move this out just a little
It's
bit.
three-dimensional.
Look at that.
But the glass is taken, it's heated in the kiln with molds made by our artists, and then it takes the shape of the mold.
Wow.
Any shape you want on the edge.
And this particular style is called what? This is heavy
This
down.
is Ultra Swirl.
And we also had this trimmed here because this is going to die up into the ceiling, and this will come down
Yes.
onto the shelf or the cap we created.
Where's most of this stuff wind up? In people's homes or restaurants or stuff like that?
It's very unusual in that we can work with large corporate clients and we can do one piece of glass for someone's home.
Wow.
A lot of it is in people's homes, in
Yeah.
bathrooms, shower enclosures, divider walls,
You can
Yeah,
make a
make those.
countertop out of
doors.
it.
You can make a
Yeah.
countertop.
But this is what I like to do.
Now we're going to fit the glass into and on top of the wall by means of two aluminum tracks, one on top of the half wall, one against the wall here. First thing we have to do is make sure that that track is going to be straight up and down or plumb from the soffit down to the half wall. It is. The bubble floats. We make the mark. We made some other marks along here to where the horizontal track is going to be. And how we prepare the track is that
It's foam, but this isn't biodegradable.
it's better with chocolate on it. Here's
But
one of those aluminum
This is the aluminum
tracks.
track that the glass is actually going to sit in. You can see here, I pre-drilled using a pre-drill bit, of course, a regular bit.
Can you drill other
This is
than
the bit.
pre-drill?
This is the bit.
It's like pre-boarding, isn't
See?
it?
That's the bit, and drill the hole, and then using the countersink, which is on here, see that? The little conical shape there, kind of like Ed's head.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you very much.
you take this, and you
sink it right into the counter, don't you?
And by doing that, see over here, let me show you. If you put this in here, see that's not good because
It's
the
sitting
head,
up.
the head is sticking up there, and you don't want the head sticking up because if the glass rests on it, it's not good. So you have to countersink it, and when you countersink it, see, then the screw says, ah.
Then it's a sunken head.
It's
And
a sunken head.
Glass can sit on a sunken head.
Yes.
So let's attach this to wall and cap.
Okay.
We're caulking
Caulking.
with silicone caulk.
Caulking while talking. Here, why don't you put one of those? I just put a little caulk, and you put a little bead right there.
And yeah, okay, do the bead, do the little caulk over top of the screw. Here,
Yeah.
I'll
Well, you don't
do-
need a lot. 'Cause I'm
I
gonna
know,
go-
well, there's nothing coming out at all, is
Well,
there?
don't.
All right. So we're just covering the screw heads now, and look at these guys. Little transparent plastic strips that we've cut up, and that's going to be our buffer over top of the screw heads when the glass sits in there. This is the glass, and this is our youthful ward, Dick Grayson.
It's Ultra Glass, and this is the Ultra Fit. You got it up there, Kevin?
Yes.
All the
Very
way to
close.
the edge.
Okay, down in.
Drop it in.
Joe, you got to move yours forward. It's in there, kids. Kevin,
Perfect.
get out. We don't need you.
Okay, you can go back to read the magazine.
All right. Now it's centered. It's sitting in the caulk. The
You got-
caulk is helping it. I can't see Jack through this glass.
There you go. That's the point of it.
And Jack's sitting right over there.
There he is. Now put a little
Oh, it's beautiful. You know
silicone
why?
in there.
You know why it's beautiful?
This is the last.
Here's the end cap that's going to seal that.
Now you can see here it's nice and tight, the glass.
But around here, because of the reticulations in the glass, there's some empty space in there.
Down that way.
And you're going to have to caulk in there, just a real tiny bead of caulk.
You don't want that open, otherwise people are going to be sticking bills and things in there. So.
Right, and if you got this glass where water might be spraying in a kitchen, seen it in a lot of restaurants like that, you're definitely going to want to do some silicone type, tub and tile type.
And then just take the finger.
And just slop it all over, and then just lick it clean.
See, look, see what I did? I didn't put my end down. See that? Now it's done.
Now you're going to go see the doctor. When you come back, you'll see that fabulous before
And the after.
Hey, we got a website.
www.furnitureguys.com.
All right, Furniture Guys, P.O. Box 53240, Philadelphia, PA 19105. Hey, guys, you can't be here. Let's go.
Actually, I think the world looks better through this. It's kind of sapphire-y.
I feel like Vincent Price.
It's nice.
Hey, look at this. Here's the beautiful Ultra Glass.
Oh, it's fabulous. What we did was we took a living room, dining room combo and broke it up into two separate, yet somehow vibrantly connected rooms.
We did a Solomon on it, right?
That's right.
And you know, we showed you how to build a stud wall.
And scribing things.
That was fun, using that profile gauge. Yeah,
and we put in the beautiful glass. Here's the before.
And there it is, the after, very nice. Now when all the furniture is moved in, it's going to feel like there's a separate living room and a separate dining room. What a dramatic transformation, huh?
All right, until next time, through a glass, darkly or strangely.
Or wobbly.
I am Ed Feldman.
And I'm Joe Lorario, and life is very distorted.
Wait a minute. Home is nice. It is.
And so is life.
Right, sure.
Nice.
Of course.
Well, wasn't that fascinating? How to with a delightful twist. How original. Original? Joe Cotton and I did an evening of how to in tap with magic at the Winter Garden in 1939. Aggie Moorhead was our tool girl. Nice legs. Face like, well, like Aggie Moorhead. These two, well, if they can make how-to interesting, I'll go down on the Titanic wearing a dress.